So once again, I say that my voice is audible and the PPT is visible. Anybody confirm it?
Yes, sir, visible, sir. Visible and you can hear it.
Okay. So this is lecture number 4 in continuation to the discussion on energy instruments. So we have seen in the previous lectures about lux meter and also clamp meter. A lux meter is nothing but an instrument to measure the illumination or brightness. So there we are using a photodiode principle. As I told you, when light falls on that particular diode, okay, so it is converted into electrical current. So the amount of brightness, the more amount of current flows. Okay, resistance starts decreasing. So that's what the operation of lux meter, which was discussed in the last class. Then we have discussed about clamp meter. Clamp meter nothing but a tongue tester. Where to use clamp meter? Uh, it is also a type of ammeter, so which is used to measure current, but at positions of high values of currents required. Okay, we cannot place ammeter over there, and instead of using ammeter, we are going with tongue tester clamp meter. It works on the principle of CT. Okay, so this was our last class discussions. Today we will be discussing a new thing. So before discussing that, I will show you some image and try to respond for that image. So what this image shows to you? By looking at this image, what comes to your mind immediately?
Favor, sir.
Favor. Very good. One
Sir,
answer. Okay. So here, any other thing by looking at the image, any other ideas you are going to get? The person is getting favor. Okay, the person got favor or something like that. Okay. Any other word or terminology that you can use by looking at this image?
increase in temperature.
Very good. Okay, so there we are looking the temperature. Okay, temperature of a human body we are looking at. So we are measuring the temperature of human body. There two, in two ways we are observing the temperature. So there is one is with respect to our human hand. Our human hand is a very good sensor. So here we are using hand to measure the temperature, but we cannot exactly know what is the value of the temperature. We can say that the body is hot, or we can say the body is cold, or something like that with our hand. It's a very good sensor to measure the temperature, but we cannot say the exact value. So for that purpose, we are using an instrument here, right? So this is the instrument through which we are trying to measure the value of the temperature. So the instrument name is thermometer. Okay. So you know pretty well there are now this is one digital thermometer. In olden days we have analog thermometers. Now also analog thermometers are there, and the accuracy of analog thermometer is still reckoned by many of the doctors. Even though digital thermometers are prevailing, but analog thermometers are still existing, and their efficiency or accuracy is very high. Okay, so now you know what is the value of temperature. Okay, the range of temperature, you say when you have achieved fever. Do you know it? Can you say the value of the temperature at which we say we are affected with fever? So you don't know. Nobody is responding.
98.
98. Okay. Any other answer?
98.8.
98.8. So you are all saying like Professor Messer. Okay, I told you the instruments at the starting of the energy instrument classes. I have shown you Professor Messer. He is trying to measure the length of a scale or a wood. Okay, so there you are not mentioning the units. If you don't mention units, what it is? Okay, so you have to mention the units. What is 98? What is 99? Or what is that?
98
98
degrees Celsius.
degree.
Fahrenheit, sir.
Foreign.
Fahrenheit, sir.
Okay, now you have started Googling it. Very good. Yes, you are coming live. Okay, so now it is 98 to 99 degrees Fahrenheit or 36.6 degrees centigrade or to 37.2 degrees centigrade. So that is the, you say this is the normal range of the temperatures. Above that, you are going to say you are affected with some fever. Okay, so the name of the fever actually is okay, so that means the body is sensing that it has got some sort of discomfort with the temperature inside you. Okay, that is the range of normal range of the body temperature. Okay, now so I will try to show you another image. So this is the body temperature range. So here this is Fahrenheit and this is your centigrades. So measurements have been given here. This is your analog thermometer. So cold body, hot body, we have mentioned two things here. Okay, so now this is the latest measurement of temperature. Okay, now you are having your now your corona face masks, your body temperature sensor. So everything has come. Now if you are red 100, okay, so then you should immediately go for testing. So that is what. Okay, so here why I am discussing this temperature. Now the condition here uh, in energy auditing instruments, why we are discussing about temperature. Okay, now so the objective of our class now is to discuss the measurement of temperature. So for measurement of temperature, we are going to see an instrument called as pyrometer. Okay, so we are going to see an instrument called as pyrometer and its working, right? So that is the objective of today's discussion, right? So temperature measurement. Okay, so what is temperature measurement or what is temperature? Temperature is nothing but the hotness or coldness of a substance or a body. Okay, it's called as temperature. Now temperature, can be measured using thermometer. That is why I have shown you thermometer, digital thermometer or analog thermometers where there is a presence of liquid in a glass. Okay, so mercury liquid will be there in a glass. That is also I have shown you. Then radiation thermometer, electrical resistance thermometer, infrared thermometers, pyrometer, thermocouple, etc. So these are all the different instruments with which we can measure the temperature. Okay. So our topic of the discussions in our syllabus, we have pyrometer and we have thermocouple. We have both the things. So this is the image of your pyrometer. Okay. So radiation pyrometer. So what is pyrometer? So pyrometer is also known as infrared thermometer. Okay, or non-contact thermometer. So there will be no physical contact. Okay, so that is why it is called as non-contact thermometer. So this is used to detect the temperature of an object or surface of a body or by radiation. Okay, it will emit some radiation on the object and based on that it will give you the exact value of the temperature. Okay, so that means it acts like a photo detector. Okay, so what is the photo detector does? It has the property of absorbing energy and measuring the electromagnetic wave intensity at any wavelength. Okay, so it has the property to measure electromagnetic intensity at any wavelength. Okay, so by using that, the pyrometer measures the temperature. So this is the equivalent image that we can see. Here we are showing a hot body. Okay, so here it is, we are seeing through a lens. Okay, so here we are going to detect the temperature detector, and this temperature detector is connected with a measuring instrument where you are going to measure the value. Okay, so this is the whole idea how I am going to measure the temperature of a hot body. Now imagine you are going to measure the temperature of a steam boiler or a furnace, okay, where their temperatures are going to be in the range of 1000 degrees, 1500, 1200, like that and all. Okay, so for our temperature, if we are going to get in the range of 37 to 40 degrees of temperature, we are feeling so much hot. And if in the range of 1000 degrees, 700 degrees, 1200 degrees, like the temperatures, degree centigrade here I am talking about. Okay, if that is going to be the temperature, you imagine how much amount of heat will be radiated over there. Okay, so now take that examples into consideration. Okay, now these pyrometers or the infrared thermometers are used to measure temperature of higher temperature furnaces. Okay, so these devices have some characteristics like accuracy, precise, and quick or fast response, and purely visual. Okay, so purely visual means, yeah, we are just by viewing, visual in sense by viewing. Okay, just by looking through this lens, we are able to know the temperature. Okay, so that is what purely visual means. Accuracy and precise, I have already discussed you what is accuracy and what is precise in the starting lectures of measuring instruments or energy audit instruments. Okay, so the property of this pyrometer is to measure the temperature accurately, precisely, purely visually, and very quickly. Okay, so these pyrometers are useful extremely in measuring higher values of temperatures. Okay, we will see some of the examples of higher values of temperatures like furnaces, even hot air balloons, okay, steam boilers. So like this, there are some examples where these pyrometers are going to be used to measure the temperature, right? So for measuring this temperature, we are using the Stephen Boltzmann law. Okay, so according to this Stephen Boltzmann law, it says that the total energy that is radiated by a black body and taken across a unit surface area, its wavelengths per unit time is directly proportional to the fourth power of temperature. Fourth power of temperature. So here J is nothing but the thermal radiation, which is proportional to fourth power of dynamic temperature or thermodynamic temperature. So T power 4. Okay. So Tj is nothing but thermal radiation directly proportional to T power 4, and the proportionality constant is replaced with the sigma called as Stephen Boltzmann constant. Okay, so this experiment might be you have studied in your school days, where they are going to show you a radiation cube. Okay, they will be placing some radiation cube, and they will be showing you a glass mirror, and you are going to observe, take a radiation cube, and in the radiation cube they may place some candle and all, and there will be a glass, and through that you are going to measure the temperature. They will have a scale of readings. Okay, so like that they will be showing the physics experiment. You might have seen the physics experiments in your school. Okay, so here the total amount of energy that is radiated per unit surface area of a black body across all wavelengths per unit time is directly proportional to the fourth power of the black body's thermodynamic temperature. Okay, so using this Stephen Boltzmann law, we are going to make some adjustments, okay, and calculate the temperature. So a pyrometer, a modern pyrometer has an optical system and a detector. Okay, so optical system, optical pyrometers are there. So optical means vision. Okay, pyro means fire in Greek language. Pyro means fire. Okay, so that is why pyrometer has come into picture. So there is a thermal radiation that is generated by a fire. Okay, so you can take the example of sun. Okay, so optical means visioning or viewing the electromagnetic intensity or electromagnetic lights at any wavelength, and pyro means fire. So this modern pyrometer is having an optical system and a detector. Okay, so the optical system is useful for observing the thermal radiation, and detector detects the amount of energy that is radiated. Okay, so now the output of the detector is nothing but the temperature, and it is obtained using Stephen Boltzmann law. So here J is equal to epsilon sigma T power 4. So in the earlier case we don't have this epsilon. Okay, where because we have considered a black body there. Okay, so now since we are considering a radiating body, so epsilon is here epsilon is nothing but the radiation or emissivity of the object. Okay, so this epsilon E is nothing but the emissivity of the object. So that has been multiplied over here. That modification has been done in the Stephen Boltzmann law for the purpose of our pyrometer. Okay. So as you know, pyrometers are available in different spectral ranges. Okay, they have some electromagnetic waves, they have short range, medium range, so like that, or even long wave ranges. So based on that, these pyrometers are available, and it records the temperature at a very high level, depending upon the intensity of the radiation of the electromagnetic wave that is emitted. Then the basic components of pyrometer are optical system and detector. Okay, so optical system and detector, these are the two basic components that are required. Apart from this optical system and detector, we are going to have a filament, we are going to have a variable resistor. Okay, so we will see the schematic diagram. Before going to understand the schematic diagram, here I want to say the basic concept, how I am going to, or how we are going to observe the changes in temperature, because it is purely by visualizing, by looking into the object temperature variation, we are going to say the exact value. Okay, color by observing the changes in the color due to light. Okay, so that is here I have taken the example of sun. Okay, you know, sun emits all mixture colors of light, you know, but we cannot see the many colors. Okay, we are able to see only some colors. I have taken another set of example where you can see here sun is going to set. So while sun is in the sunset conditions, you can see here a mixture of colors. Okay, and another different mixture of colors, you can see the variation, the brightness has been varied, and the thickness of the colors is going to vary. Here you can see another variation, and here also you can see it is completely varied. Okay, so the color variations of sun, you can see, that means what is happening here, if the light intensity is changing, the color also will change. Okay, so that means if the amount of light intensity, okay, so how artificially we are increasing or decreasing the light intensity? By passing the current. Okay, now you remember the same thing with respect to a filament bulb. So okay, in the filament bulb, if you are going to vary the resistance, okay, if you are going to increase the number of electrons flowing, okay, automatically your filament bulbs will become red hot. If further is increased, it becomes white hot. If further is increased, breakdown. Okay, so that is what the filament bulb which we have seen. Okay, so now that means I have taken the natural light as an example to show you that if light intensity is varied, okay, that means radiations here, because sun emits radiation. So if the radiation is varied, Okay, the color also will be varying. Okay, so I am using this natural phenomena to construct the pyrometer. So now here this is the working of the pyrometer. So here I am going to look at the object that is going to emit the radiation. Okay, so here this is the object that is going to emit the radiation. Okay, so here this I am using two lenses. So this one optical lens, as I told you, the important components of pyrometer are optical system and detector. Okay, so this optical system consists of two lenses. Here is one optical lens, another one is here another optical lens, and we am going to see, I am going to have a filament. I told you this is the filament that is going to be available, and this whole setup is called as viewfinder. Okay, this whole setup is called as a viewfinder. So in the viewfinder, along with this filament, I am going to see a variable resistor, and that variable resistor is going to be having a scale. So where the scale will have a range of values. Okay, so if the pointer is going to point to that particular value of resistance, what is going to be the measurement of the value of temperature. Okay, so that I am going to obtain here. Okay, so the filter is going to filter the electromagnetic radiations, if and all any harmful radiations are going to come, so that this is going to alter it. Okay, so this viewfinder includes two lenses, a filter and a metal filament through which current flows. Okay, so this metal filament, as I told you, is similar to that of a halogen filament bulb. Okay, so the current flowing to the filament can be controlled using this rheostat. Okay, by varying this rheostat, you can control the amount of current that is flowing through the filament, and this rheostat is calibrated with respect to temperature. Okay, temperature scale is shown here, and this calibrated with respect to the temperature. So by varying the rheostat, okay, the current passing through the filament is going to be varied. Okay, now here we have mentioned here, so this is the suitable knob. Okay, this knob is going to be placed nearby here. Okay, so here this is not on the top of this thing, this knob will be there, and this knob is going to be, by varying this knob. Okay, so this is automatically, this rheostat will be varied. Okay, so this is the adjustable knob. Okay, so this range is 650 degrees centigrade to 1500 degrees centigrade. Okay, so this is the range of this knob. So by using this adjustable knob, okay, the rheostat is going to be varied, and the current flowing to the filament can be varied. Okay, so if the current flowing through the filament is large enough, so this filament will emit light as well as heat. Okay, so that is similar that of a incandescent bulb which we have seen. Okay, so higher amount of the current flow, the filament gets hotter, and its light will be of larger intensity. Okay, so we can vary this knob from this value 650 to 1500. So based on this variation, this rheostat will vary, and the filament color of the filament will be varying. Okay, now if you are going to look through the viewfinder, okay, so you can see how the brightness of the filament is going to be varied. Okay, now if the filament temperature is lower than the object's temperature, then the filament will be looking like this, and if the filament temperature is greater than the object temperature, this will be looking like this. Okay, so the color, now the object's color and this color is going to be matched. Okay, so and if the both the colors are matched, then the corresponding scale reading, we can see the corresponding scale reading where the rheostat is available. At the rheostat we have a scale, so we can see the value of the temperature. Okay, so at which position the rheostat knob is present. Okay, so when object and filament, yes, the temperature of object and filament are equal, their light intensity is same. Okay, so now you cannot find any viewfinder here, so almost your viewfinder will be in the background. Okay, so here we have the scale, and by using that adjustment knob, so you can see here we have made the adjustable rheostat, varied the adjustable rheostat, and whatever is the value of particular condition when these two object color and object temperature and your filament temperature both are matching with respect to their light intensity, and you are going to note down the value corresponding to the rheostat position with respect to the scale. Okay, that is how you are going to measure the temperature. Okay, so here I am trying to show you an animation video, whatever I have explained that. So this is there in this animation. Okay, maybe it moves a little bit quick. Okay, so you can see the variation of rheostat and the color variation you can see here. Okay, so you can see the movement of rheostat and you can see the variation in the colors. Okay, so here is your basic criteria. So here is your adjustable knob, and that adjustable knob has been brought down back here. Okay, so if this is going to be varied, your rheostat can be varied. If rheostat varies, then your color is going to be varied. Okay, so all the things whatever I have explained there, so that is shown for you in the animation. Okay, I hope by looking at this animation and with that explanation what I have given, okay, you could understand the working of pyrometer. Okay, then advantages of pyrometer. So it can measure temperature of an object without any contact, without any contact of the object. We can measure the temperature. So that is why this is called as non-contact measurement. Then the response time is very quick, which we have already seen. The advantages, the special qualities of your pyrometer: accuracy, precision, and quick response. Okay, so the response time is very quick. Then it is having good stability while measuring the object's temperature. It can measure different type of object temperature at a variable distance. You can also vary the distance also depending upon the conditions. Okay, at some you can, if you go to mining industry or if you go to some steel industry and all, where high temperature furnaces are going to be operated. Okay, so you cannot go beyond certain distance nearer to the object. Okay, because of the high radiating temperatures. Okay, so even from far the places or variable distance places, you can measure the temperature of that object or a particular body or particular substance. Okay, using the pyrometer. But still this pyrometer is also having some disadvantages. Because of this costly, it will be expensive. Okay, so pyrometers are generally rugged. Okay, they will not have any common problems. Generally small problems and all will not come for the pyrometers. They are generally rugged. Okay, but they are expensive.